If you're Gen X or an elder millennial, hear me out. I'm done with the term anti aging, and here's why. Anti implies we're fighting something. And you know what? You can't fight a natural process. We're all getting older, and we don't need to pretend that our skin cells are 25 years old. I don't want to fight the years. I want to be grateful for them and that I had the opportunity to live them. I think the fashion and beauty industries have come a long way, at least since I was a kid. I was recently shopping for a bridesmaid dress online, and we have the typical models that are thin, and we also have the models that are a little bit more lifelike, women who look like they have a career and children, and I think that is a positive step for women and the beauty industry. I don't think we should be implying that aging is the enemy and having women feeling shame for it. I want to embrace aging and be grateful for the years that I've had and the wisdom that I've gained over the last 10, 20 years. It's definitely made me a better human than I was in my teens and 20s, and I want to celebrate that. Functional aging is totally different from anti aging in that anti aging implies correcting or erasing signs of aging. I want our culture to accept that those signs can make us more beautiful, not less. I've got age spots on my jawline, and they're a sign of a life well lived. I'm a scuba diver, and I go out for a week at a time scuba diving, and I get some sun. And I am so thankful that I've had those experiences. Instead of undoing the signs of aging, like the Botox that I used to work on, I want to support the skin's function throughout the aging process, not just silence the muscle through blocking the acetylcholine of the neuromuscular junction. Our skin is our body's first line of defense. It keeps out dirt, pollution, infections, viruses. Without it, we'd be getting sick all the time. The goal really is to protect the skin's ability to repair itself. So when we're young, the elastin and collagen and the cellular repair mechanisms work really well. And as we get older, the collagen and elastin production slows. To preserve the skin's underlying structure, we want to optimize for skin function, not just how skin looks today. So that's barrier integrity, steady renewal, and reducing cumulative damage. To me, that means not overexfoliating to the point of sun sensitivity. I want my skin to protect me when I'm out scuba diving. The ocean is very drying, and that's why barrier integrity is really important to me. Functional aging is supporting the skin from the inside and the outside. Antioxidants to neutralize free radicals and reducing the cumulative damage of years in the sun and oxidative stress. As we age at the functional level, skin renewal slows, the barrier gets less resilient, skin thins and dries out, and the repair machinery gets less efficient. Collagen and elastin production decline, and I was surprised when I referenced this that it declines every year starting at age 25. We start to get more zombie cells or cellular senescence. This is when the skin cells tend to resist programmed cell death or apoptosis. Cellular senescence is when the cells stop reproducing and they don't die, but they just kind of linger around. They secrete inflammatory factors to recruit immune cells, natural killer cells, macrophages, and T cells. And when the clearance of these zombie cells fails, it produces a low grade inflammation or an inflammaging. Cancer cells actually evade both checkpoints, apoptosis and cellular senescence, and that's how they keep dividing unchecked. Another process that's happening at the functional level is mitochondrial decline. The energy factories in your cells start to produce less energy. So naturally, that means the cellular energy for repair goes down, as does protein turnover. Your two different cleanup systems, the proteasome and autophagy, tend to slow down. So older, worn out proteins tend to stick around instead of being replaced. In other words, your skin's quality control and recycling systems slow down, so more older proteins stick around instead of getting replaced. So our goal here is to support the system rather than fighting a number on the calendar. People like to say that rosacea gets worse as you get older, but there's a nuance in there. I've had rosacea since my late 20s. I think I was diagnosed at around age 30. And for people who already have rosacea, the skin tends to change twofold. There's more red blood vessels underneath the skin, and the skin tends to get thinner and more translucent. So you've got a twofold effect here. But as we get older, if you haven't gotten rosacea, you're actually less likely to develop it. So, not everyone's rosacea gets worse per se. From a functional standpoint, progression of your rosacea symptoms track with trigger and inflammation exposure, which is something that we can support, not a fixed, it's going to get worse as I get older. So, what does supporting skin function actually look like? Well, it's a barrier first approach. Before reaching for aggressive active ingredients like acids or niacinamide or anything intense, which can flush sensitive or rosacea prone skin, repairing a compromised barrier first brings inflammation down so that actives are actually better tolerated and absorbed better afterwards. There's less noise in the background. Ingredients that work with the skin's biology are, for instance, retinols, which are a vitamin A derivative. They can help with cellular turnover, the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, age spots, and texture, but they are intense even on regular skin, and they can often be too much for rosacea prone skin. I've tried them before and they made my skin really red. Vitamin C is also a great functional aging ingredient. It works with the skin's biology and the concentration you use matters. If it's too strong and it stings or flushes your skin, then work on your skin barrier first. That's part of how I developed the Ultimate Cocktail Facial Serum. I wanted to use natural antioxidants like bilberry hyaluronic acid, which binds water and holds it in the skin. I wanted to work with my skin's biology and provide it antioxidants rather than having a facelift and slicing into the skin, which is not working with my skin's biology. Topicals support the skin's function and appearance, but they don't rewrite biology. They don't rewrite signs of aging. So, what about beauty from within? Everyone's drinking collagen right now, and as a scientist, I have looked into this. There is conflicting evidence and research. Some trials show hydration and elasticity gains, but a 2025 systematic review found no solid clinical evidence for collagen preventing or treating skin aging. Regulators are tightening. There is anecdotal evidence, and some trials suggest taking internal collagen helps, but it's worth always asking who funded those studies. So, if not for the collagen hype, what moves actually do support the skin nutritionally? Well, I have three things that I include and one thing I like to avoid. First off, omega 3s. They're anti inflammatory and have decades of research behind them. It's really about raising your omega 3 to omega 6 ratio since many people get way too much omega 6. Raising your omega 3s in that ratio helps reduce rosacea redness, specifically by lowering systemic inflammation. Second is polyphenols. They contain antioxidants, they're anti inflammatory, and they support the skin's barrier. They're found in grape skins, green leafy vegetables, and different colors of produce. That's why they say eat the rainbow. Now, I used to really love drinking red wine, but I've cut way back and I probably only drink alcohol a handful of times a year now because the polyphenol benefit is overshadowed by the risks of drinking the alcohol itself. And third, vitamin C, the cofactor that your body needs to build its own collagen. It's arguably more important and useful than drinking collagen because it supports your body in making its own collagen. Now, the thing that I avoid, and this is a tough one because I have a sweet tooth, things with high sugar content. Sugar creates rigid chemical crosslinks between collagen fibers called glycation. They're like tiny welds joining strands that used to slide past each other freely. Welded collagen can't flex, so instead of bouncing back, it stiffens and becomes more prone to breaking down. So, what you eat really does show up in your skin's function. Being pro aging isn't giving up on your skin or your health, it's caring for your health instead of chasing what your skin looked like at 25, which isn't even attainable because your skin cells are not 25. I'm a recovering perfectionist, and I think our culture needs a good dose of radical acceptance, especially when it comes to women and attractiveness. The lines on my face are signs of a life well lived. When I go on my scuba diving trips, I know that a significant sun exposure might cause DNA damage in my skin, and it will probably suppress my immune system for about 2 to 3 days, which is something I actually really just learned recently from a dermatologist. So, when I'm on that flight home, I've had a bunch of sun for the week. I know that I am more susceptible to colds and other viruses because I've had a lot of sun and it can affect my immune system. So, on that flight home from my vacation with the recycled air and the packed cabin, I know that it's a rougher combination than it actually seemed to me at first, precisely because my defenses are down for those couple of days. So, I'm keeping that in mind for my upcoming Red Sea trip. I know the sun feels good in the moment. It helps me produce serotonin, but it's still causing DNA damage in the skin cells, less elasticity, more hyperpigmentation, and freckling over time. And while I'm on that flight home, my immune system will probably be suppressed and less able to fight off what I'm breathing in that confined space. The goal of functional skincare is functional skin doing its job and looking its best at every age, not rewinding the clock. So, if you're in your 30s and 40s and you have rosacea, you're just finding this functional skin approach, where do you start? I would say three things: barrier supporting moisturizer with humectants, emollients, and a natural occlusive to lock moisture in, a daily facial sunscreen, specifically a mineral sunscreen because it won't irritate sensitive eyes. Body sunscreen matters for extended outdoor time, not necessarily daily errands. And third, instead of an all fruit smoothie, which is heavy in fructose, swap out one of those fruits for a leafy green vegetable, kale or spinach, so you keep the polyphenols and vitamin C with less of the sugar. That's how you make a green smoothie. One of my most popular articles on orsblog.com is actually the ultimate anti inflammatory green smoothie, and I'll link to it in the description. Keep the changes small, do one per week, not a whole 10-step overhaul. The benefits accumulate over the years, even if you're starting at 40. If you'd like to learn more, you can go to orsblog.com where I post well researched skincare articles. You can go to organicradianceskincare.com for the products. And if you'd like a free gift, How to Care for Rosacea, the guide that I wrote, which is downloadable, you can go to the orsblog.com menu bar and it's right there. I also have an email newsletter that shares our new blog article updates, product specials, and skincare tips. You can sign up there either on the blog or at the website. Remember to hit follow down below and share this with a friend who might find it useful.